you break up with someone, they're like, "You'll be nothing without me."
Does that mean that I won't get a check because I fired her?
No,
How did she say that?
a bunch of stuff for instance, your brother Angel. He's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, Sean, you should give me some money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't give me some money, something bad's gonna happen, right?"
Right.
See, that's just how they are.
But why did she say that about me, the social worker? That I'm not going to get a check?
Because she's like Angel.
But what made her say that?
Why does Angel say it?
I don't know. Why does she say I'm not going to get a check anymore since I did fire her?
Mm-hmm. They're just saying stuff. I could tell you, Sean, anything.
Why is she saying stuff?
Because they're mad.
Why? Because she wants to take my money?
Yeah, like when you fire her, it makes her look bad.
Why? If I didn't fire her, what would she do? Take my money?
Yeah, she'll just keep taking your money. Now she's got to go work. Like technically, being working for you, she doesn't have to work. She's not doing her job, but she still gets paid to do that job.
Oh.
They call it being a bum.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm supposed to do this job, but I'm gonna just say I did it and leave Sean to die. Now, there's a reason why your life's so messed up. It's because of her. Her job is to make sure you're good.
Yeah.
But she hasn't been doing her job. Like, you gotta go talk to the lawyer. Everyone's taking your money. You're basically being murdered, and no one's trying to help you. Like, they get paid to help you. So, Remy?
Would these work?
What is it?
Hulse? Colored hulse?
Nah, that's just candy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you need a cough drops.
Okay, I may go get some too.
Okay. I'll see you later, Sean. Don't. And if they ask you for money, tell them you gotta give it to me instead, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, the dinosaurs are gonna get you.
Yeah. What about Elijah?
Elijah doesn't get anything. He doesn't deserve it. Elijah gets more money than you.
He's lucky if he gets some crust.
Yeah, he's lucky if he gets some crust. Okay, I'll see you later, Sean. Oh, that's my buddy, Sean. He's special needs, so like everyone tries to like ruin his life. Like people are always like mugging him or robbing him. He's supposed to get he's got a social worker, and the social worker robs him too. It's like, and then COVID came and they just like abandoned him. And he even has a job at the city, but just no one cares about him besides like me. Like I'm the only person who helps him. He's like, I'm gonna be homeless. I'm like, oh shit, Sean, you gotta sleep with me. Like the time Elijah had to sleep with me. I'm like, Elijah, you son of a bitch. Why the fuck are you here? Get out of here, Elijah. And I like chase him away. Because he started giving me lip. I'm like, Elijah, you do realize like I could kill you right now. No one would say a thing. I got pictures of Elijah on my Instagram. I just made a short with Sean, but he wanted to talk more, so I let him talk. I hate elves. Doesn't matter if they're in LA. I hate them. Any elf, every elf, no matter what type of elf, I'm gonna discriminate. We're like, yo, elf, we don't want your kind here. Go back to your trees, bro. You're not welcome. No swinging from the tree vines. No lumber spread. No, I'm not interested in your warnings. You gotta go. That's what I think about those elves. Ain't welcome in these parts. Yeah. So on top of that, though, I was playing some Rust today. I got this really cool bass. You'd really like it. I was growing some crops. These guys were getting my garden. The elves came. They were like eating my corn. I'm like, get out of my garden, you elf. Oh man, they ate my corn, and he was like, I'm eating your corn. I'm like, no. I'm good at Rust and real life because I train hard. They call it discipline. You practice the 7 virtues, and then once you master those, you could start training on your sins. Because like the idea is, they call them the deadly sins, is because if you're not prepared, they consume you. But the virtues to prepare you for what they call the deadly part. So instead of being consumed, you master it. So like the idea is, there's lust, but lust can be good if you're chastised. So like an example is, it's good to be lustful with your wife. You know what I'm saying? But it's not good to be lustful with people that ain't your wife. It's good to be temperate, but it's not good to be gluttonous. It's good to be gluttonous though if you're able to be temperate, because you need to be able to eat to build up muscle mass. So the idea is you need to eat a lot, but you need to eat a lot of what's good for you. And pride is extremely dangerous unless you're humble. And then you understand that it could be used as a weapon against yourself. You humble yourself. Like, you can't have any of the sins without your virtues, otherwise you die. And that's what the elves want to teach you, is the sins. They're like, let me teach you about sinning. I'm an elf. Don't pay attention to those virtues. None of that. We just want you to sin. I'm only wise, Raimi, because I've seen. I got that experience. That's what they call it. I've done the work. I've done the job. I've been there. I've done it. I've seen it. I fought it. I've been on the front lines. Well, I'm right now at my house. The city owes me money, so I just sit here all day, every day. And part of the deal payment is they have to give me Wi-Fi. So like I have Wi-Fi all day, all night. See? There's nothing they can do about it. Otherwise, like, I bankrupt them. It's like when in Rust there's these guys and they're like messing with you. So you're like, hey, give me a base tour, I'm gonna raid you. And you show up with like 80 guys with rocket launchers, and they're like, oh, let's give them a base tour. That's how it is. You know me? Know me? See? There's the streets. Trees. Everyone's off right now because it's Saturday. It closes at 5. So it's just me, usually. And if there's usually someone else, that means they're up to no good. Making trouble in my neighborhood. See? I got a bench. It's my water supply. Gotta stay hydrated. See? I put water in the milk jug. And this is the leftovers of my coffee. Coffee keeps me active. I love coffee. So I saw you were in the wilderness. I would have built a house by now. You know, like Survivor Man style. Like all that grass, you could turn that into bricks with a shovel and a hoe. When I was at the reservation, I built a blacksmith. Like the Indians came out there like, whoa, this is crazy. He made a brick. I'm like, hell yeah, I made a brick. Told you I would. And they're like hitting it to test its density. I'm like, I can make 100 of those, bro. And the elder, he came out, he's like, what the hell is that? And it's like, my shed. I'm like, yeah, I built that. Since you guys been here for the past 100 years, you guys have built nothing. And I've been here 3 months and I've already built a structure. Rust style. Also, I was swimming in the water and this scuba guy came out and he took my seeds. I was like, you son of a bitch. I think he was hacking because he could see me in the water and he just comes and gets me. He's like, I just hear the scuba suit coming, and I go down in with my spear. I'm like, but he ended up getting me because he's got like flippers. But I guarantee you he was cheating. I'm still upset with Rustoria, Maine. I was playing on Rusty Moose, Maine. Rusty Moose is actually my first server. Well, besides Face Punch. Face Punch was actually my first server, but Rusty Moose was like my official choosing. I've never been bothered on any other server besides Rustoria, Maine. Like, anytime that happens, they're just like, yo, they're not in your base. There's no sleeping bags. Like, there's nothing that tells you they're cheating. Like, the mods, they're able to see the bans. They were banned from other servers. The server ban, the VAC ban, whatever they call it. They have something that highlights them, like, oh, but we don't, as the Rust players, we don't get that privilege. Like, if we should be able to see it ourselves, like, everyone should be able to see it. Like, they should have like a square around their name or something. Yeah, they're jealous of me. Otherwise, they wouldn't say anything. Like, they show up and they're like, well, it's not that much loot. You only took 2 AKs, not 5. I feel a little bad though, because I joined the Rusty Moose server and I didn't know. So I was giving them a little bit of, shit talk. But then I realized I was on the wrong server and I was still banned one more day. Just one more day. But I don't know. I'm going to go there and check to see if I got my blueprints. But I don't know if I'm going to be going back to that server. If anything, it looks really bad for them. Because like they call it integrity. Like, the idea is when you lose your integrity, you start slipping, is what they call it. You start becoming an elf. And once you become an elf, there's no more helping you. Like, you get a cease and desist letter in your box. It's like, well, Face Punch doesn't want to be seen with you or affiliated, so we're removing your name from the list. That's what happens. The cease and desist. Get it from the court system. The court system's getting a cease and desist from me. I'm like, oh yeah. Just the other day, some undercover cops were like harassing me. I'm like, get out of here, you cop, before I go to your office over there and tell your boss you're over here harassing me. Because a lot of times they're not supposed to know. It's like that show, Undercover Boss. Like, you gotta disguise yourself as the worker, and you go through and you're like, oh, I'm just a worker. Don't mind me. Let me see what you're doing over there. And you're like getting a little close. Like, this is real undercover work. Like, you don't know I'm undercover. That's how good I am. But I know you're undercover because you're not good at it. Like, you could tell they're cops because they're lazy. It's like, instead of riding a normal bike, he's riding an electric bike. When I see the cops, they don't even get out of their car. They just drive through this area. The elves are afraid of the country because there's no one there to help them. Like, elves love the cities because there's a bunch of people to feed on. They're like vampires. They need to feed on humans. So if there's no humans out there, they can't survive. They're like a parasite. Those elves, I hate elves. Good old country. I was thinking about moving to the country, but also an island, but I'd probably get bored. Like, being retired's hard. Like, every day you just come here and play video games, just chill, talk to people, the people. Like, yo, citizens, Greetings, I am your leader. What are your ailments today? And they tell me about their problems, and I do what I can to solve them. We got Wi-Fi here. That's part of the deal. It's like, I'm not gonna sue you if you provide internet at my house. So I got internet all day, all night. Like, I'm sitting in bed, like, watching movies. Like, people don't understand. Like, I'm in bed, and I'm just watching, like, Komomo hit people with a baseball bat in the middle of the night. Like, at 1 o'clock, I'm messaging my girls. I'm like, yo, dog. On the island, yeah, there'd be internet. I'd have the best internet. I'd call up Elon Musk and get that satellite shit. There's nowhere I'm gonna go without internet. That's just the rule. Like, I always get internet. Except for jail. There was internet in jail, but it's like shitty ass internet where you can't, like, do anything. You gotta pay to, like, listen to, like they got, like, movies for, like, $10. You could watch the Avatar movie for $20. It's a bunch of bullshit. So I'm gonna have to discuss that with them too. Like, there needs to be rules changed in jail. An example is, like, you're innocent until proven guilty. So until you're proven guilty, you should get, like, bonuses. Like, you should be treated, like, better, is what I'm saying. Like, you should be allowed free phone calls, double meals. Well, jail's like going to school. Like, you're in school all day, all night. Come out to lunch. You got the playground you go play on. So that's what jail's like. It's like going to school. That's the best way to describe it. You got your teacher, which is your jail guy. He comes out, he's like, yo, I'm in jail. You're in jail. And they try to make you join a gang, but I didn't join their gang. I was another. That's what they call it you when you don't join one of the three factions. I'm like, I ain't no wood. Yeah, they got weird ass rules. It's like, dog, I don't wanna spit in the toilet. Like, pretend this trash can's the toilet, right? You see this trash can? Well, the idea is, like, there's a sink right here, and you're not allowed to spit in the sink. You gotta spit in the toilet, because you might, like, make a mess or something. So, like, they're all, like, paranoid. I'm like, in jail, the room is spotless, right? But in their house or their apartment, it's dirty as hell. It's because they're bored. They're so bored that they want to clean. But the idea is, when they're out here, they go out and they drink, they do drugs, all that nonsense. And the only reason why they don't like jail is because they can't drink or do drugs. If they could do drugs in jail, they'd never leave. They'd be there their whole life. They'd be like, yeah, this is it. We've won. You know, like the finish line. We've reached the finish line. And there's a sign right here for handicaps. They got the flags right here. Yeah, I was joking around that we're gonna put a LGBTQ plus flag up. Yeah, drugs are bad. They're the worst. And the elves want you to do drugs. Like, you see it on the TV. Like, these guys are like, oh yeah, we're gonna go do something fun, right? And they go to these parties where they're sinning. It's like, yeah, sinning's the best. Woo, we did drugs. Yeah, this is the best day of my life, doing drugs. Woo, woo. And the kids see it and they're like, they're having so much fun sinning and doing drugs. Maybe that's what we should do. It's like every day they want to go party. And it's like, oh, that's what you do when you're to have fun is party, right? No one's ever taught us any differently. That's elf talk, elf magic. Doing drugs is the worst thing you could ever do. Just ruins your life. That's why they want you to do it. They want you to go buy the alcohol. Yeah, me too, Raimi. The elves are the worst. Sean's supposed to be back in like 40 minutes, 10 minutes. I sent him to go buy cough drops because he bought candy instead. The elves have ruined Sean's life. Like, that guy, he's like real special needs. Like, he can't save himself. Like, he literally needs someone to take care of him, otherwise he'll die. Like, he's starving to death right now. Like, he's almost bones. He's just skin and bones. And no one does anything to help him. They're like, well, if we help Sean, the elves are gonna get us. Like, stop being a bitch and beat up the elf. It's that easy. They're like, how did you just beat up that elf? I just beat him up. That's all it takes. No one says a thing. No one does a thing. No one cares. You just beat the elf up. They actually cheer you when you beat the elf up. They're like, I can't believe it. It was that easy. Well, in real life, streams are a lot harder than you think. Because everyone thinks I'm crazy. They're like, oh, we're going to call the cops on that guy for talking. They think I'm talking to myself. They're like, they form like a crowd. Something that elves taught them. I'm gonna go enjoy my anime. Peace out. Stay strong.